again, I greet you, and I'm glad that you're able to listen to me. And what I want to say today is very important. It's because too often the gospel gets complicated, and I want to basically remind you of what the Lord said to the disciples. He said, preach the gospel, heal the sick, and raise the dead, of course. And that's all I try to do in my ministry, is do what the disciples were told to do. And what higher aim or ambition can we have than simply doing what Jesus said? And this was a challenge particularly to the disciples, but it goes wider than that, and I think it's a challenge to pastors and to leaders, no, not to just ordinary members of churches maybe, but I still think that we forget and move away from the simplicity of the gospel and try and confuse it. And what I've had to do, particularly in my ministry, is be very simple. You see, I've just come back, as I'm talking to you now, I'm only a few days back from Poland. And time doesn't matter when it was, but for me it was just not a week ago when I held the meetings there. And I realized that my audience in the main meeting was comprised not of good, ordinary people, but they brought in children, they brought in people that were handicapped, people that were in difficulty, they brought them out of the homes. And there's no question these people were very, very much unsaved people. As you know, Poland is mainly a Catholic country, but even the Catholic faith hadn't reached these people. They were rejects, outcasts, and they boxed them in. And those are the people that Jesus told us to reach. Come on. He didn't go for the wealthy ones and the ones that can fill the offering basket at your church. He said, go into the highways and the byways, and I'm sure that translates, and fetch them off the street. Well, that's what they've done. They've bussed them in. And so I had to present quite a simple gospel, and I chose a verse which I'm going to give you now because it's in Matthew 9. It's also repeated elsewhere, but I chose Matthew 9, where it says, Jesus got into a ship, crossed over the sea, that was the Sea of Galilee, and came into his own city, which was Nazareth. And they brought to him a man sick of the palsy lying on the bed. So what he went into a house, and another version of this says that in the house they actually had to take the roof off to let him in, but in actual fact the roof was, I know Israel and I know the kind of house, it was really a roof covering over a courtyard, and so they took it off and they lowered him down, and he was lying on the bed. Now, Jesus, it says here, this is in Matthew 9, and it's in verse 2, that he was brought to Jesus, and Jesus, seeing not just the sick man, but seeing the faith of those who brought him. Have you got it? Seeing the faith of those who brought him. The man was dying, and we don't know whether he was conscious, unconscious. We only know that he couldn't get off his bed. And yet, Jesus, looking at him, said, Son, be of good cheer, your sin is forgiven. So, this caused a major controversy because these people with their faith had thought that Jesus would heal him, and Jesus didn't. he took the other course. He said, your sin is forgiven, rejoice. I mean, what a message to give a man who is dying, is rejoice. But yet, because in that very sense is the whole essence of the gospel.